Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 24 with the Oakland Athletics. In our previous episode, we completed the offseason and we got ourselves a couple of new players. First things first is actually an old player. Our old pal Max Clark returns for a season. Probably just the one season, though. We do have a team option for next year, but it's actually pretty pricey. We'll see what happens after this season is concluded, though. I really wanted to consider bringing him back, and so we will. We also, that's the only change in the lineup, actually. Mitchell's playing center for some reason. I don't know why. Minor is playing in right. And hopefully, in Minor's case in particular, we need to see a big breakout campaign from him, or he's going to be departing very quickly. He's got the potential to be an excellent outfielder, but he hasn't been able to make that work yet. But I do have some hope. I do have some hope that after an excellent year in AAA, he's only 25, that he's got more good years ahead of him. The pitching staff isn't that different. Oliver Camillo, who was a reliever, in fact, reliever of the year last year, is now a starter. Dumoulin, Swanson, Chrisman, also from our team last year, and then Amari Brodden again. So this wasn't really a season of getting new players so much as it was upgrading a couple of other places. So talking bullpen, we added Jesus Ramirez, who instantly became our closer, by trading Oviedo. And I think that was the right call. I genuinely do. I think we got a tremendous career out of Oviedo, but I don't think he was ever going to be a top-tier player in the A's park, given that he's left-handed. So that's one of our bigger changes. We added Devon Schaffner in a trade. I really wanted to make sure we upgraded our bullpen because it really kind of let us down in the previous season. And in this case, it cost me Michael Perez. So basically, I got a new reliever for less money, which is always great. Fairbank has been on the team for a couple of seasons. Volpert is made the big leagues just a year after we drafted him, which is pretty par for the course for relievers, right? That's a very common thing that you see in relief pitchers, is that they typically go through the minors very, very quickly. Chris Hughes is both playing shortstop and coming out of the pen. We have Chris McDevitt. He's another. He was somebody we brought in to be a high caliber pitching prospect. I don't love the fact of putting him in the pen, to be honest with you. But I do think, at least for his first major league season, at least to begin with, I think putting. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to do this shit. I'm not going to take a picture with this. I'm not going to let you ruin him like you almost ruined Moya. So I'm going to suggest you make him a starting pitcher. And then let's update our staff. And of course, because he's a fucking jackass, Mark Kotsay just ignores me. Which is not cool, guys. It's not cool. Whatever. Wilt and Lambert are both longer time A's. We have a ton of money to spend in free agency if we wish to do so. I do not wish to do so. We are going to have some tricky decisions at the end of the year, specifically what we do with Peyton Green. Now, Peyton Green has been probably the most underpaid player in the league since he joined us. And I'm sure he wants to get paid. And indeed, if we look at his contract extension demands, they're pretty extensive. This is not happening. I will happily hand Mr. Green a qualifying offer, collect the draft pick, and wish him well on his next team. Because I am not paying $30 million. I'm just not going to do it. I don't think he's got a super high likelihood to make the Hall of Fame. I could be wrong. He reminds a lot of Garrett Gunnels, right? And he has been a very, very solid player. And he's even got a little bit of hardware to show for it. Including 4 playoff MVPs, 2 World Series rings, and a Silver Slugger. So it isn't as though he's not a good player. But he hasn't had enough dominant seasons to really set him up well in Jaws. And his black and gray ink isn't going to look amazing because he hasn't led the league or even been in the top 5 very many times. So, we're going to need to look for a new third baseman. That may end up being Aguilar. Aguilar is one of my better acquisitions in the offseason. He's going to start the season on the bench, but he will probably become your everyday third baseman for the Oakland A's next year. I feel pretty confident that's going to happen. Some people are going to want big old bumps in terms of their salary. And one of the interesting questions we're going to have to deal with is, do we want to try to keep Swanson or Moya, or do we try to make both happen? And that's not going to be easy. That's not going to be easy at all. Of the two, I slightly prefer DeMoya, just because Swanson does have this fragility to him. And although he's given us a couple of good seasons, he is less likely to be worth it. So maybe, do I just offer DeMoya a raise now and see how much money he wants? Man. I want to do team option for sure, if I'm going to even consider this. I'm going to try to knock a couple of million off here and there, just to save us a little bit of money. I don't do this enough, by the way. And see if he would take this. This is a gigantic raise. I understand that. But I do think DeMoya has a relatively good risk of being worth quite a bit of money. And he will take this deal. I'm going to go ahead and make the offer. DeMoya has also been the better pitcher. He's given us 2 excellent seasons. And he also pitches more innings. In fact, he would look even better if not for Mark Kotze's fucking inconsistency belonged in the bullpen his first 2 years. Kotze, all I'm saying is 2036 is next year. I'm getting really sick of how you ignore me, and I'm gonna fire your ass. I don't care how many World Series you win, you're still a fucking punk that won't do what you're told. So get fucked, nerd. Get fucked, nerd. Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and play some baseball games. The owner's probably not going to be super great. I just handed over a big old chunk of his money, but he's going to get over it. Because fuck John Fisher. And we did lock up DeMoya, which is something I thought was very important. I noticed that in OOTP now, there's a lot fewer career-ending injuries. Which is either good or bad, it depends on your perspective. But it seems like career-ending injuries are a lot more rare, which I think is reasonable because there was definitely a point in the not-too-distant past where they happened a lot. Along with the really annoying one where they decided to retire to play football. That was also another really upsetting one. I think they've either removed it or toned it down as well. I like the players' storylines, but it always felt gross to have an amazing 80 potential player, 5-star player, who just retire. That always kind of felt gross, so. Jacobo got slightly worse. Ramirez and Lambert got better. Venegas got better. And Hayden got better. 3 homers for Oviedo. So apparently I was hugely wrong to keep him. Or lose him, rather. Jesus Ramirez is the best reliever in the game. 8 saves in 1 month is pretty good. It's pretty good. No, I did just offer Jacobo a new contract. In an effort to get a good player locked up for not too much money. He is way too fucking good to hit as poorly as he's hit the last 2 seasons. Or even the last 3 seasons. So, well, the last 2 seasons more, so. We're gonna see, and we're gonna hope that that he's the next Peyton Green, essentially. That's what we're hoping for. I'm not gonna look at the stats for most of the players yet. There's not enough of a sample size to really take it into account. A couple weeks out with herniated disc isn't incredible, but it's not the end of the world either. Do we call up Sean DeWitt? Well, I'm definitely going to go ahead and put him on the 40-man. Like, the 38-man, sorry. I'm always going to call it the 40-man. I don't apologize for that. Because I'm definitely not letting him walk. He's definitely not leaving for no compensation. So I think it makes sense to either call up DeWitt or Estrada. I think they'd both be amazing. Does Estrada have a lot of experience at AAA? Just this season. I am going to call up DeWitt, and we're going to see how he handles things. I don't know why I have any of these players. Are you on my short list? You're not. Alejandro Osorio, no. Arguello's on my short list. Oh, are you somebody that I traded? Yeah, I traded you for Mike Neely. I think that was a trade I probably won. I know you want to come back. Not for that, you're not. His salary is coming down. But just to be completely honest with you, I cannot afford to give him that much money. I can't. Well, there goes there goes Baden Fairbank. I need a bullpen guy, to replace him, and I don't really have a top-tier reliever just yet. What if I traded Pinto for one? Like, I get it, people are going to go, oh my god, two-way player. He's not going to be that great a hitter, and I just think if we can get ourselves a nice reliever, that would be quite tasty. I'll look at regulars too. I'm not taking on a bit of salary for the right reliever. I mean, Zach Ballou is pretty amazing, and I think I'm just going to stop and take the win here. I get that my guy's like, oh my god, he's a shortstop, he's a two-way player. Yeah, and he sucks. Like, he's not going to be a very good two-way player. I did notice that Mitchell got hurt, though. I probably cursed us by saying that hardly anyone gets career-ending injuries. Just throwing that out there. Apparently he's back already. Minor. Unless DeWitt hit like 7 home runs, I wasn't going to keep him. I just wanted him to get a taste of the bigs. Because I really do need to see if Minor actually can handle shit. I need to see if he can make that happen. I did notice that Guzman is hurt, which is not great. I don't like it. It's only 2 weeks, but I've only got so many catchers to go around. If I look at the 38-man roster, I don't have a catcher on it right now. Before we get much farther, let's find some players that I don't really need to keep. Jaco seems like one of them, because I need to free up a 40-man spot. Let me take a quick peek at... Take a peeky peek at the player development screen, because it'll tell me who my number one prospect is at catcher. Oh god, you're all so far away from the big leagues. Like, it's not even close. We're gonna go free agent shopping, because I do want a reliable backup catcher while Guzman is out. Oh, so I kept my bargain shopping filter. I love it. I absolutely love it. Sort by defense. I want somebody who can at least hit a little bit. I mean, we could always just kidnap Ziegler again. He can never quite get away from us. That would be funny. But I like Antonio Guzman better. I think, or Gomez here. I think we're going to go ahead and offer him a contract. We're just going to simulate ahead a day, because I bet he'll sign quickly. I know Guzman's only out for 2 weeks. That's understood, but that still doesn't mean I want to risk it. Danny Gross is going to start forcing the issue, which is amazing. I love seeing pitchers really push hard to make that work. DeWitt got worse after his brief period in the big leagues. I'm sorry, mate. Good stuff. I like how Oviedo just instantly leaves Oakland and becomes like the all-star he always should have been. That's deeply frustrating, and you're a jerk. But that's what happens when your park suppresses left-handed hitting. How much longer is Guzman going to be out? He's going to be out for a week. Spanos isn't that tired, so I'm going to go ahead and I will put Gomez in AAA for now. And if Guzman has a setback, then we will go from there. Okay, let's look at team home screen for now. We're not hitting great, is the number one takeaway so far. Now, let's walk this back slightly. 3 of our players are hitting incredibly well. Chris Hughes, Rodolfo Romero, and Dice Mel Minor, which is fantastic. I cannot stress how amazed I am that these players are all playing very well. And none of them is playing so well that I'm like, yeah, it's fine. They're all playing within their career histories. I mean, I don't think Rodolfo Ramirez is going to all of a sudden become an MVP candidate, but if he did, I'd be pretty happy about that. But let's talk about who's underperforming. Peyton Green is still drawing plenty of walks, but he's lost the ability to hit for contact. This is not going to bode well for you getting a big-time contract from anybody, especially because your range has always been kind of sussy. So this is a bad start for you, but the saving grace is you still don't know how to take a walk, and you still have a decent bit of pop. So while you'll still be valuable at the end of the season, I would not at all be shocked if you have a very hard time making the money you think you're owed. Caleb Sellers is kind of what he is at this point. Although he is significantly off of last season's pace, he still provides lots of pop and hits the occasional other extra base hit. I still think Sellers is a good player, and we're still going to keep him around. Derek Mitchell has been incredibly underwhelming since we acquired him. Like, we are paying him to be one of the best players in Major League Baseball, and he is not that. Not even a little bit. And that really sucks. I bet the issue is his splits. Yeah, he basically produces virtually nothing against lefties. And he does a lot better against righties. This is what I predicted. This kind of makes sense. And this is obviously, I mean, we should have predicted this, right? Like, this ballpark murders left-handed hitters, especially left-handed home run hitters. It just does. So I don't think we'd get anybody to take Mitchell from us, but I'm kind of willing to try and just see what might be possible. All players, please. I mean, this is already better than I thought we would get. I thought we'd be told to get fucked, and we would get nothing. Because my plan is actually to promote Sean DeWitt. And let him take over and see where that gets us. To the extent that anybody here looks all that appealing and somebody worth keeping, it's probably Lara here. I mean, I could just get Samara, because even though he's worth a lot of money, he's only got a 1-year deal. And then we just see what happens. That's actually somewhat tempting. I mean, I wouldn't mind a guy like Jared Kelenic if he was right-handed. $64 million. Have you lost your fucking mind, Chicago? Like, this guy at his best is never worth $64 million. I'm going to do it for Samara, and it's purely because his contract's up. Yeah, done. And although this feels gross, I think it would feel a lot worse if we kept trying to make this a thing. I truly do. And we're just going to be a whole lot more cautious about who we open up the checkbook to for big-time players. At least for a player of this kind, where most of his value comes from hitting homers. Like, he's not a bad player, but he's not $40 million. And so I'm going to pull this trade. The fans are going to be ultra sad. And that sucks, but it is what it is. Okay. So I've got 2 roster spots available. One of them is going to Sean DeWitt. Unless it... I mean, I guess they'd probably move Max Clark to center, which I'm totally fine with. Because I do want Estrada to eventually make the roster too. I just want him to get some more experience at AAA. But I think he's got a really good chance to be a good outfielder as well. I have 13 pitchers, so I need one more position player. How close are you to coming back, Mr. Guzman? You will be back in 1 week. I'll just leave you alone. Samara, I'm just going to turn around and trade you myself. I have no desire to keep you, and if I can get an even interesting player for you, I will happily do it. I will eat all of his salary because if I can get a decent player out of him. Because right now, the alternative is just me cutting him. No, you're really only offering relievers, and that doesn't really feel good. So I think we'll just keep him. Who is my least skilled reliever? I just got Blue, so I'm not going to demote him. But maybe I will. He's done. No, he actually hasn't. He's done all right, though. You know what I need to do? I need to get Chris Hughes out of the bullpen. He's never going to pitch more than a few innings, and so I think just having another pitcher does make some sense for the moment. I think we will go and let Samara get some pitching experience in. Because not really 14, and Chris Hughes is never going to get used a lot, so I think this makes a ton of sense. I do notice we have McDevitt in the rotation, which is great. I love to see that. And I think the next time we're going to have to get into the rotation is going to be Danny Gross. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I probably have too many infielders, to be honest with you. So we're going to have a decision to make once Guzman is healthy again. And let's advance a week at a time. Oh, yes. I have to demote you, don't I? Man, it really does feel kind of gross. We had all that hype for Mitchell being amazing. And I know the moment he leaves Oakland, he's going to look amazing. But I think we just have to accept the limitations of our park. Because, I mean, I guess we could build a new park, I suppose. Wow. That's cool. Who needs a fucking catcher? So Guzman gets to come back, and where's my new guy? Seriously, Gomez is hurt? Let's get another catcher then. Machado's a decent hitter, he just can't really catch all that well. I guess for a defense first starter, that's not the worst decision. I probably need to do Linares, though. Let's do Linares. Oh, the active roster is full. You're right. I think Juan Ayala's got to go. He's not that good defensively, and while he is an okay hitter, I'd much rather keep Arturo Ayala, who's a really good defender. But he's not playing that well either. But he is also the only player here who can handle shortstop if he needs to. I would much prefer sending Aguilar to the minors so he could play every day, but that's not an option because he's out of options. So it's got to be either Ayala. I'm going to try to get Ayala through waivers. I think I have a decent chance to make that a thing. And then I can add Linares to the roster to be the backup catcher. There we go. But I guess I could have demoted Chris Busby, but that's alright. Alright, let's advance some time, guys. And Max Clark is now out. Well, that makes that decision real easy. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so I was only out for 2 weeks, but that is like the worst timing. I guess I'll call up Danny Isaacson for right now. And see what that does for us. I mean, as soon as Estrada's healthy, Estrada's my preference, but I need to let him get healthy first. Ayala did clear waivers, which makes me really happy. Okay, good. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you think we ought to, if you think we ought to consider building a new ballpark for the A's in Oakland. I don't mind it at all. I actually kind of think it's fun having to deal with genuine, okay, Haywood sucks. I would love to have Jaramillo, but I don't want Eddie Diaz at all. Or you're just doing it to get rid of his salary. I guess I could just cut him. Can I remove Diaz? No, you really want the deal as it originally existed. I will happily make this trade and then just, like, trade Diaz. Or cut him or whatever. I do not need you. Machado's not that great. But Padilla might be. And I'm just instantly going to turn around and take Mr. Diaz here and try to turn him into a catcher. Because that's what we need the most right now. We need a reliable catching, ideally a prospect. No thank you. Let me eat his salary and see if that changes the equation for you. Really? What is with Eddie Diaz that everybody hates him? Like, I know he's not very good, but okay. I'm just gonna cut him. I didn't even want him. So, yeah, get fucked, nerd. Enjoy free agency. Because, to be clear, I wanted Jaramillo. Jaramillo is actually a really talented player. So, I will take that win, and we'll keep baseballing. But yeah, so while I do enjoy the puzzle of having a team that's a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? That's a bit more challenging to run. I'm going to keep Fairbank over Wiltz 100 times out of 100. I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made that if we built a bigger stadium, or one that's at least more normal, it'll also be changed off the ballpark construction kit, which could be kind of fun. So let me know. Let me know in the comments if you think I should build a new stadium for Oakland in Oakland. I mean, they've won 2 World Series. Surely the Oakland City Council would be all over this shit. One would think. But maybe not. Maybe not. I don't love that Demoya got a big contract and all of a sudden is declining. That doesn't make me feel great, but that's alright. How's the team doing now? Sean DeWitt is going to be an issue because it is left-handed, but we have way too few at-bats to make any kind of real judge about his talent, so we're going to let him figure it out. Minor turning into not just a good player, but one of our best is something I never would have predicted. And yeah, Jacobo still sucks. I cannot get over that. I cannot get over how somebody with his talent level just categorically refuses to make contact. He's not a great contact hitter, understood. But, like, the fact he just consistently, he's not driving the ball when he does hit it. I mean, You're fucking killing me, Smalls, is the takeaway here. And it's going to be impossible to move this contract. Like, I don't think anybody's going to look at him now and decide that he's worth acquiring. I truly don't. So I think we just soak this shit and hopefully he figures it out toward the end of the season. But for right now, he is very lame. We're making a bunch of errors. Who is the fuck up? Who is lay fuck up? Really, Romero? Really? You're too bloody good to fuck with, but it does make me sad that you're making errors. But I will live with it. Because otherwise you're actually a really good second baseman. And I will handle airmailing the odd throw for the best hitter on the team right now. And it's not particularly close. Let us now, my friends, proceed up to the draft. But the owner is going to be kind of... No, the owner is actually going to be amazed because they're making shit tons of money now. We did get to Moya. He wants to improve our draft record. That will change with DeWitt. As DeWitt puts together a couple of decent seasons, I think we'll see some good shit there. Who is presently playing center? It's Minor. Look, Busby sucks. Estrada doesn't. But I do want Estrada to get a bit more experience in AAA. So we're going to leave it alone, and we're going to advance to the first-year player draft. Let's offer some contract extensions. Sean DeWitt's the number 6 prospect in the majors. That's amazing. I love it. All the minor leaguers get new deals. Unless they suck. Will Venable is perfectly fine for where he's at. He's not fantastic, but I don't think he's bad either. Hogland is whatever. Angel's quite good. We'll keep him. The team chemistry is fantastic. And Goddard is really good at teaching outfielders. So I think we just keep Goddard. Like, there's no downside to letting him continue to be our third base coach. I will just keep Hogland just for the sake of keeping him, but there you go. The other thing you have to remember for the ballpark is, yes, it does make it harder for us to have great hitters, but it also makes our pitchers look better. So there's always give and take here. I can't negotiate with draftees, dummy. You haven't drafted anybody yet. I knew that. I want all players, please. Man, somebody's going to pay John McGraw a lot of money and be really happy with that expenditure. There is a 0% chance he makes it to me, but if he did, I would run to the podium and, like, tackle anybody in the vicinity of the podium without a second's hesitation. But he won't be there, as predicted. So we've got 3 elite talents, 2 pitchers, and a center fielder. These are like the cream of the crop according to Mr. Barnes here. And I've learned to trust his judgment. He's pretty good at spotting these tremendous players. Let's start with Jody Kuhn. Jody Kuhn is a lefty who doesn't throw super hard. He's got pretty decent numbers here. He has the potential for 3+ pitches, which is fantastic. But there is one warning flag for me right here, which is this. I'm not saying Jacksonville State isn't a lovely university if you happen to attend it, but Jacksonville State is not a baseball school. And the fact he's wanting to go there, which means he's not going to see great competition, does give me some cause for concern. Just a little bit. I'm going to keep looking, but he is definitely in the running for my pick. Yedlson Divini is going to OSU. That's much better. He's got the potential for lots of extremely plus pitches and good all-around numbers. He's going to want a shit ton of money. But he is also a big kid who's going to fill out and probably add velocity. Harmon Tischler is a flat no. Like, I'm not going to go for this. A contact-only center fielder, no matter how smart he is just not a good idea. Not in the ballpark it's presently constructed. I think I'm going to go Divini. Although it's going to cost you a lot of money. So I guess the other benefit of picking Kuhn is I'm going to be signing under slot. And his price tag might scare some people away. Do I take the risk? Because I really want Divini. Yeah, I'm going to take him. I'm not going to overthink this shit. Draft player, done. I knew they weren't both going to be there. It's fine. If there was a great catching prospect in this draft that I missed out on him, I'm going to feel really silly. Anyway, it's mostly a pitcher's life for us at this point. Let's quickly look at all catchers. And let me sort by ratings and defense. There's literally nobody who can play catcher. That's amazing. Great job, draft class. Great job. So I'm not going to waste my time then. I'm not going to overdraft a player who's actually not worth it. I am not paying Mike Massey like $100 billion. I don't think he's that useful. I think he's got a lot of potential to be an excellent player, but I'm not going to be the one to fund his bullshit. No, thank you. Robbie Herbertson is also a fantastic hitter. Like, this is just a no-brainer. This is a true two-way player who should also add a couple ticks to his fastball. Easy choice. Done. Give me Robbie Herbertson right now. Gregorio Salgado is really interesting. This is more of a projection type player. He has got the tools to be not just a good pitcher, but a great pitcher. And let me point out what I see here. The first thing I see immediately is his height. He is a big dude, and he's very skinny. Now, it could be he ends up like Randy Johnson, where Randy Johnson put on muscle, but he was never a real big guy. But it's also possible that he adds muscle as he gets older. And he throws the ball harder. Because everything else about his package, I love. His control's not the best. 3 walks per 9 in high school is not a great look. But look at his senior season. Like, look at this ridiculousness. 110 innings, he struck out 20 batters per 9. Like, you can't trust the numbers too much with average competition, but this is, like, fucking ridiculous. There's no reason not to take him. Done. I'm gonna take Mr. Salgado here and own it. I do want a couple more offensive players if we can find the right ones. So let's look at everyone here that isn't a pitcher. Gabe Newman is a right-handed power bat, and that's all he brings to the table. I don't think so. The fact he's going to play for Arizona State bodes well for him because Arizona State is a fantastic baseball school. I'm going to shortlist him, but I have no intention of drafting him. I just don't think it's... He's too limited for even a 4th-round pick, in my opinion. I'm not going to overpay for Mike Dixon. No, thank you. I'm going to be real with you guys. You all kind of suck. I think Dave Thames is the first guy here that I'm even somewhat interested in. So I think we're going to give it a go. There we go. This draft got real poopy real fast. Danny Heil. Fastball sinker, gigantic kid. Okay control and movement. He did start in high school, so I do think he's more than just a reliever. I think he's worthwhile of a 5th-round pick. Somebody did eventually take Gabe Newman. I kind of suspected they might. Is there anybody left that offers elite contact or power? Hi there, Jadon Isaiah, but hello there instead, Mike Massey. You're a really good hitter. Like, you've got huge amounts of potential as a hitter. I don't think he's going to be a great shortstop. So that does give me some pause. Now without more defense, would I consider taking Mr. Andrade here? I think Joey Lambert has to be the pick. I need catching prospects in the worst way. So we're going to take Mr. Lambert here. Done. Somebody finally took Massey. I'm not that surprised. I'm also going to take Aiden Hoppa to get to the Hoppa. Done. Danny Mingle sucks. And I think I'm just going to go out and let my scouting director do the rest of the draft at this point. Unless there's any elite potential guys left, which I don't think there are. This is like, we're getting to the point where it's just which player's name do you think is the funniest? Like Bubba Coons, tee. Because it's like, this isn't where stars come from. This is where, like, soldiers, organizational soldiers come from. If Addy could catch it all, I guess Addy can catch. Fine. There's going to be the draft of 1,000 catchers, it looks like, in the hopes that one of them will stick. I like Mondesir. We'll go for him, too. And then now, finally, I will let my scouting director enjoy the rest of the draft. Let him have a good old time. I really do wish we could have gotten both of those starting pitching prospects because they were both phenomenal. But I'm not at all upset about ending up with 3 starting pitchers in this draft class. All of whom seem to be really good. Like, each one of them seems to be a top-tier pitching prospect. And we finally added a bit of depth at catcher. I'm not saying any of those or even some of them will end up as starting catchers in the majors, but they could. Quintanilla is just too unimpressive for me to even offer 950 grand. I think he's being a bit silly. Try again when you go to fucking Bellarmine University. I have no idea where Bellarmine University is. I don't have the foggiest idea. Minor will be back in a day. Davini already signed, which is fantastic. Amari Broaden and Jesus Ramirez both make the All-Star team from Oakland. Romero and Hughes make it. That appears to be it. Really, Alex Watson ended up being a good catcher? Man. He used to be ours. And we decided, nah, we'll get Bo Naylor instead. Boy, was that a mistake. Oh man, that hurts. That hurts. So we had 4 All-Stars this year. Not bad. I'm a little surprised Minor couldn't make it, but I get it. Like, who would you bump off for Minor? Like, Wadi Mendez, but then... No, can't say you would still have Jorge Lara. Alright, I will actually complain slightly, and I should say Mendez should have been bumped from Minor. Was having a really good season, and I'm really happy for him. Anyway, what are the prospects? One second. It's Gilberto Cabral, who still has so much potential and has just done absolutely nothing to capitalize on it yet. He can barely break out of the high minors, so he's worth monitoring as time progresses. Our lead in the AL West is hardly insurmountable, but god damn it, game. Really? Can you stop? Oh, great, and Swanson's hurt too. So first things first, let's go ahead and call up Estrada. And then if Swanson is out for an extended period of time, then Danny Gross gets called up. Is that Bryce Harper? No, Leonise Harper. Man, imagine being able to hit 50 homers in a season. That just seems like cheating. And there goes Mike Swanson. I'm really glad we didn't offer him a giant new contract, guys. Danny Gross, you're up. Make me proud. Absolutely not. I am not going to trade a really good reliever for a worse reliever. You are now untouchable. Congratulations. Ochoa's not that interesting to me. Randlovich is... eh? Like this is the definition of a fart sniffing trade, where we're just like sniffing each other's butts like dogs, but actually not doing anything of note, because that's what's happening right now. Like, I don't want to Choa, and yeah, I don't need your mediocre outfielders, guys. I don't. I need fucking catchers who can actually play the game, so I will not be trading any of my catching prospects for anything. Wanda Roscoe is decent, but you're offering me nothing remotely interesting for him. But it's good on the people value Orozco. That could be our key to an upgrade here at the trading deadline. Alright, so there's two things I'd really like if we could manage it. I would be over the moon if we could get a catcher. I truly would be over the moon if we could get a catcher. Beyond that, I don't know what else we would really need, but I do think a catcher is critical. Because Adonis Guzman is fine, but he's not a great catcher. He just isn't. And so that's something we're going to have to think about as time progresses. The other thing I wouldn't mind would be a real good. I mean, I guess a good corner outfielder. But, like, Miner is going to be back in a few weeks. Clark is going to be. Well, Clark won't be back this season, but. I guess for the right outfielder, I could see ponying up a decent prospect or two. Let's have a peek. Let's have one of the old peeky peekies. If I don't suggest you playing DH, you're just going to bench him, aren't you? Maybe that's worth it. Maybe a benching here would send the right message, which is stop fucking up. I think that's an important message to send, if you ask me. And so you instantly put Busby in the lineup. I don't know what fucking embarrassing pictures Busby has of you, but you need to stop thinking he's the solution to anything in this lineup. Because I know you see, ooh, big power, scary, but he's a lefty in Oakland. Like, that's just not good enough. So we're going to take ourselves a peek at the outfield market. I think that's a place we could really make a bit of hay. Mike Corcoran is a pretty decent right-handed outfielder, and he's fairly cheap, too. Let's go for Corcoran. Maybe this is the kind of thing we're looking for. What if I offered you Chris Busby, because I just want him off my fucking team? I mean, that's already almost there. But you're wanting, like, a really good prospect, and that's not going to happen. I'm not giving up a great prospect for a mid-range outfielder. What if instead I offered you, for your very own, a mid-tier prospect? Like, say, Juan here. No, that moves the needle slightly, but not by enough. Cool. Like, you're offering me a mid-tier outfielder? I just don't see why I'm offering an elite prospect for him. It's just not worth it. Quit being fucking weird, game. Like, I am not giving any of these players for Corcoran. If he was a lot better, I would consider trading Caleb Sellers. But you're being fucking stupid, so go to hell, Cincinnati. Let's talk to the Tigers about... I mean, we could go for Juan Soto. But no. Tempting, but no. What about this? Alright, now we're talking. This is the kind of shit I like to see. Do we end the Peyton Green era? And let Aguilar take over third base? I've heard ideas I've liked less. They could be so easy to trade like Chrisman or Broaden, but to be honest with you, I don't think I can afford to give up on any of those players just yet. What if I offered you Busby? I'm gonna be real with you. I fucking hate Busby, and the fact that Mark Kotze thinks he's the answer to any question that isn't why the fuck is Chris Busby here? They didn't really change things, did it? It's really the exact same list. Let me offer you... Because Mary is a fairly talented player, I'm a little bit more likely to be willing to part with a decent prospect for him. I could give you Dave Tingle, but I don't think I will. I think I like him. I think Daniel Jaramillo is actually worth trading in this deal. No, you don't want Jaramillo. Well, that's fine. Have I? For a Roscoe, you'll give me Will Taylor and Kevin Wells. I'm going to submit that trade and see what that does. I mean, Will Taylor is decent. He's not fantastic, but he's pretty good. It looks like he's really just lacked opportunity to show what he can do. I could see this trade working. Let's try it. Let's trade a Roscoe for that. That seems decent. Will Taylor is a talented player. For sure. Busby, I'm just going to trade you for literally anything because I don't want you on my team anymore. I want you gone because of fucking Mark Kotze's obsession with you. Like, I don't know if you're like best friends or you go fishing together or whatever, but I want you gone. This is not a triumph. You suck. None of these guys are great, but they all share a critical commonality that they're not Chris Busby. I'm going to go for this guy. Coronado seems kind of interesting. Thank God. Our long national nightmare of Chris Busby is over. And we can feel good that he's fucking gone now. Jerk. Will Taylor gets promoted. What else do I not want? Do we move Peyton Green? Aguilar has shown he can hit in the big leagues. Is it time to move on from Peyton Green? Because we're not bringing him back. We're not. I am not paying him $27 million. That's ridiculous. I think if we got the right player in exchange, I do think moving on from Peyton Green now is somewhat sensible. So let's give it a shot. I will look at regulars too. What is an offer if I traded Mr. Peyton Green? Oh, fuck you, Jonathan Fournier. There was a second there I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. Joe Morris isn't that good. A power only bat always strikes me as, oh, hello, Georg Hunt. You are a top tier incredible pitcher. Whenever I could get Myrie and Hunt. I'm going to start with Hunt and then see if you would toss in Myrie. Or Miri, I guess is his name. Let's see what that does, and how you respond at the end of that day. Okay, this is fine. What you're asking for is very reasonable. I will give you Greg Wiltz. I think that's fair. Done. I'm sorry that the fans are so sad about losing Green, but we were going to lose him anyway. This at least helps us out this year. It really strengthens our outfield presence, which is what I was really hoping for. I am now going to send down Isaacson. I think. Yeah, I'm going to send down Isaacson. I'll be real with you. I'm strongly considering trying to get Jacobo through waivers and sending him to AAA. Like, the worst case scenario is that somebody else takes on his contract. Or do we just trade Jacobo? I wonder what the market even is for him. If we do trade him. Is not great. It is not great. So the fact that this market is this weak for him, I might be able to pull it off. I might be able to sneak him through waivers. Because I really think he needs to go to AAA. That's what I think he needs more than anything. I think he just needs some time in... Because he went right from AA to the majors. And he's never really hit. Except for in 2033. So I think we're going to try this. We're going to try to get him through waivers. So that I can call up another infielder. I think Ed Arnett would be a fine choice. Done. I never did get my catcher, did I? Let's see who is available. I actually did not want to skip ahead, but here we are. Who we got catching-wise? I'm not seeing a lot of C's here. Here's one. Josada Brown. Josada Brown is a terrible catcher, though. Good hitter. Terrible catcher. No, thank you. Like, Drake Baldwin would be decent. It would cost me virtually nothing, so yeah, we're gonna make this happen. And then Linares can... I guess Linares can just be waived and sent to the minors. And there goes Baldwin. There we go. I'm really interested to see if anybody claims Jacobo. I wouldn't be shocked if they do. Because does have a ton of potential, and in a better stadium, he might even have a chance at it. But I don't think he will. I think he'll make it. I think he'll get through waivers, and it'll be fine. I think. I can't prove it, though. I can't prove it. Volpert, Fairbank, Schaffner all got better. Hughes got a lot better. Miner got better. Dave Tingle took a big step in his career. We still have Ishmael Ibarra, don't we? That guy. We got some decent movement down here lower in the minors, which is great news. I mean, Joey Rogers would already be one of our better catchers, which is kind of embarrassing. We do not have a great catching core, do we? We do not. Let's sim a week. Interesting, Tampa. Okay. Look. I love Jacobo, and I think he's a phenomenal player, and I'm sure he'll thrive in Tampa where he couldn't thrive in Oakland, but you're letting me off the hook, guys. You're letting me off the hook. And for that, I thank you. There he goes. And now you're stuck with this contract. I actually feel reasonably okay about that. I'm a little bummed. I'm a little bit bummed because I thought he was a fantastic player, but here we are. Anybody here that I want to extend? I mean, let's see how Miri actually does, but it's a possibility. None of you guys are really that impressive to me. I can tell you who's not getting a big deal here. I don't know why Jim Crispin thinks he's worth like $20 million a year, but I'll definitely keep him just for the purposes of his arbitration. But I'm not going to pay him $20 million. That's ridiculous. Just out of curiosity, wow, you are delusional as fuck, my guy. You have never been more delusional. Juan Ayala. I think I'm being blinded by what he could be and not what he is. Like, what does he actually want to stay? He just wants a one-year deal. Maybe. I think you need to upgrade at first base. I think I'm coming to that conclusion as well. When all Caleb Sellers offers is home runs and the occasional hit, I don't think that's a good enough package. I think we might need to find a new first baseman too. Anyways, let us sim to the end of the month. Yeah, Linares easily cleared waivers, not surprised. On we go. I think we have to get high contact, high on base percentage players. I think they'll be the most likely to succeed in suppressed home run environment that is Oakland. And so I can't get distracted by overly paying for power. Which I know I've said like 1,000 times, and yet I keep falling for the same bullshit over and over again, so I don't know what that says about me, but nothing good. Danny Isaacson can go to the minors to bring back Miner. So we either need players who are like DeWitt, who do everything fairly well, Or we need players that are just really good at contact and getting on base. I mean, Rodolfo Romero's had an amazing career. I don't know what his secret is, why he can hit home runs here when very few other people can, but he's had a phenomenal start to his career. I could not be happier with what Romero has achieved, for sure. Adonis Guzman casually hits 5 hits. I think we're getting a little bit lost in the weeds here for how incredible Oakland has been this year. We've actually been a really, really great team. But I think we've done a really good job of just accepting, of taking what's given to us. That's what I was looking for. Taking what's given to us instead of always hoping for perfection, which we'll never get. I like you, Ronnie Small. I like you a lot. I like how Yudelson Divini just got better. That's fantastic news. I love it. I love everything about it. Any roster moves I should be making? Estrada's not that exciting, but he's also barely played, so I'm willing to let him just figure it out for right now. Aguilar is doing okay at third base. He's got a fair bit of pop, which is excellent. A .439 slugging percentage is pretty decent. Romero's great. I mean, Chris Hughes becoming a borderline MVP candidate is not something I ever would have considered when we locked him up as we did, but he's been phenomenal. He's been truly exceptional, and I'm happy about that. Miner's breakout year is also very highly enjoyed. I wish you weren't made out of glass, but I'm still really looking forward to seeing how he grows as a player. I think Sellers has to go. I think somebody will overpay for him, and they'll be welcome to him. So we're going to make that move. I don't know too about Guzman at this point, guys. Like, he consistently produces at a decent level. I think maybe we have to keep him. Maybe. Like, his arbitration number can't be that high. It's not. I think we'll keep Guzman for sure. And then we'll go from there. Chrisman has probably earned a new contract at some point. Amari Brodman has been phenomenal. We work our bullpen hard, but we've gotten a lot out of the bullpen, so I'm not even that annoyed by it. I'm not that chuffed by it. Once I saying chuffed more, it always sounds fun. Yeah. I like how we're 12th in batting average, we're 5th in on-base percentage. And if that isn't Oakland A's baseball right there, I don't know what is. You know who would be amazing? Would be someone like Ichiro, if we could make that happen. Like an Ichiro type of player. Well, this is not a trade. I'm still not convinced I lost this trade. Because Ramirez has been incredible. But I do miss Oviedo a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, fuck you, Samara. You are not. You will get $1 million from me if you get anything. I think you have lost what is left of your mind, and the idea that you're worth $45 million. You're just not. Have attempted to offer you a qualifying offer just to see if anybody is stupid enough to give it to you. Spanos will miss the next 3 to 4 months. Amazing. Is he already on the 60-day IL? He is. Okay. I wonder when we'll clinch the AL West. Probably quite soon here. Boom. Playoff spot clinched. I don't like losing McDevitt for 2 weeks. But I'm not going to put anybody on the roster. I want to encourage you guys to use Gross. So we'll just move along here. I think we've also more or less locked up a bye week, which is going to be really helpful. That initial bye week, I think, is going to be great. It's going to be great. Player development, of course. Juan Demoya gets forced after he gets a big contract. I don't know why I bother. Trevino got a little bit better. Don't sleep on Alex Mueller. If he develops a little bit, he's going to be in our plan sooner rather than later. But yeah, I think Mark Kotze's singular greatest failing up to this point is his inability to recognize the offensive environment in which the Oakland A's perform. And he keeps going, oh my god, we need to bring on this guy. And he sucks. And getting Max Clark back is a nice little shot in the arm. I'm all for having him back for this stretch run. Maybe get him a ring. Can you stop, Minor? Just stop. Like, I swear to God, dude. I am not paying you $10 or $15 million. Not when you can't stay fucking healthy. Thank goodness for Max Clark. Can we manage the Hyundai? We can, and we did. And of course, Avila wins a fucking batting title the moment he's out of Oakland. Whatever, dude. I didn't like you anyway. You smell funny. That's not true. He doesn't smell funny. He smells amazing. This looks like a pretty decent roster. I'm not gonna mess with anything here. Yeah, I'm good with this. Alright. So we do get to skip the first round of the playoffs, which is fantastic. That'll help us recover. Hopefully McDevitt will be fully healed and ready to baseball. Alright. Oof. That is an oof. I award you one oof. The manager of the AAA team just retired. So we're going to right quick pause things here and think about who gets promoted. Carpenter and Young are both really good at what they do, but neither one of them is a manager. Haney is a possibility. Yeah, let's just promote Haney. Isn't Jose Vicente this guy been trying to get to be manager forever? Yeah, he is. I wonder if he'll take the AA manager's job. He really does not want to be a hitting coach, or anything but a hitting coach, does he? Shoemaker gets promoted. Now, Goldby won't take that as a promotion, so the question is, do we promote Venable? I think maybe we do. I think maybe we do. And let's get ourselves a really interesting young manager to helm our rookie team here. I really think Ryan Hader is my preference because he's good at development and good at mechanics. That should help out the youngsters who need it the most. There you go. Done. We're off to a not great start. That's a really not great start. I am not happy with your nonsense, guys. Oh, let's quickly offer to all the players that are worthy. And we run that practice. There you go. Brilliant. We got fucking swept, guys. That's not great. By one of the worst offenses in the American League just fucking handed our shit to us. Like, guys, this is not okay. Like, as a team, we just didn't hit. At all. Wow. 100 wins. And we get swept by the fucking Blue Jays. I am not happy, guys. I am not happy at all. You know what? I am so annoyed. I'm actually annoyed by a lot of things. But guess what? Mark Kotze, your ass is fucking fired. That's your fault. You are who I am choosing to blame for this bullshit. And I'm not even going to fill this post. We're going to figure it out together next episode. But yeah, your players played like shit when the playoffs started, so get fucked, Mark Kotze. That felt good. I wanted to fire him for a while. I just needed an excuse. For an 87-win team to upset a 100-win team, and especially all the conflicts we've had with his stupid... What if we play this home run hitter, even though our park can't handle home run hitters? Yeah. I mean, Toronto's on quite the roll, so maybe Toronto was just more legit than they ever looked, but... For right now, my guys... Mark Kotze is gone. Our long national nightmare has been resolved. And, so next episode we'll talk about finding a new manager and what we're looking for. Maybe I should be the new manager. What do you think, team? You know what, Kotze? Go fuck yourself. You're a little, I'm so picked on. Go to hell. Immediately, without passing go or collecting $200. Yeah, I just don't see the value in keeping Max Clark. I don't. My scouting director retired? What? I'm going to void his contract. I got a 4-year deal, though. So let me know what you think, friends. Should Avguardian become the manager of the Oakland A's? Or should we find a new manager? So, in addition to that, I'm also still curious about the whole debate thing about the stadium. I kind of want to keep it the way it is, but I will listen to arguments for sure. And if there's like a really good immersion reason to have a new stadium, then I'm all for it. But thankfully, Mark Kotze is gone. So even with everything else that happened this episode, it's got to be considered a success, right? It does. This is a real shame because we wasted a career year from Chris Hughes. Stop showing me his fucking pitching stats. I don't care. He led the league in WAR. That's incredible. As a shortstop who also pitched. That's insane. Truly phenomenal. That's incredible. Rodolfo Romero had a fantastic season of his own. Sean DeWitt, this is one hell of a rookie season, guys. It's good to know that I can still pick him every now and again. Miner's breakout year was only interrupted by repeated injuries. We got some decent contributions from other players. I don't know why Arturo Ayala was starting instead of Aguilar at the end there, because he should have definitely been the starting third baseman. It's what I brought him in for. But the lineup was actually really good. The pitching was also very good. Kristen, Brodin, DeMoya, and Camillo were a formidable rotation. McDevitt was fantastic in his first year in the majors. Hope to see more. Jesus Ramirez was... Our pitching staff basically couldn't do any wrong, other than Samara, who I didn't want in the first place. It is a real shame we got bounced in the first round. I guess technically the second round, but you know what I meant. Because I think this Oakland team had a chance to be really special. It took us a long time to find our identity, but I think we've found it now, and I think it's just going to be a matter of sticking with it. But it's going to be a time of transition. Whether I become the manager or whether we find a new manager, I will leave up to you. I'll be honest, there's like a 6%, there's like 8% of me that wants to do it, to become the manager. But I will definitely hear what you all have to say and what your recommendations are. As far as the new stadium, if you do want us to build a new stadium, let me know. I will tell you this point blank, if we build a new stadium, it will be a neutral stadium. I'm not going to do anything crazy as far as, like, make it really small or really big, because for 81 games a season, it's going to define our team's identity. And so I'm not going to, like, rush into it, because if it makes things easier for the hitters, it's going to be harder for the pitchers, and vice versa. So neutrality might be the road we take, but we'll see how that works. But my friends, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe, comment down below about who should the new manager be and what we should do from there. But until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.